Hey guys, George here, and what I'm going to do is a playthrough of my solo play on Tavronitis Bridge. Now, which side am I playing? I'm playing both sides at the best of my ability to see um, how the game will turn out and to gain more insights as to how to be a better player at playing the scenario. Having said that, I lost twice to Mark Dennehy in this one, playing both sides. And there was an element of luck on my second game. On the first game that I played, and it was prior to me playing solo, I realized that although there's a numerical advantage for the Germans, ultimately, since the British units can set up on both sides across the two bridgeheads, you have to split your forces or eliminate one side first and then rush to the other side to get the job done. Now, in terms of setup, I set up the British forces in a defensive position that I thought was really plausible. Yes, I do know where the fortifications are, but that to me didn't seem as an important distinction or important factor, because ultimately you can guess where the fortifications would be, given that the British units have to set up in a particular zone, and that zone would exclude the road hexes along the edge of this crest line here. And this darker green is a valley. For the Germans, it was important for me to get some fog of war going in terms of not knowing what the contents of the gliders are as the British player when I'm playing the British player. So I devised a little system of randomness, getting these chits, and each chit has a letter designation of a unit, and that chit is given to a particular glider. The glider will reveal, once it's landed, will reveal what unit was in it, and whether it was unit A, B, C, what have you, and that's how I would determine what each glider held. Something like, a bit like random selection. So the British player will not know what are the contents of the glider, but they will be shooting at the glider. All right. On a side note, I did read the division history, the New Zealand Battalion 22, the 22nd New Zealand Battalion, better said, and it seems that their account of the battle differs from the account on the German scenario card. I think that the history denoted on the scenario card is more biased towards the German side, perhaps because the division history was not readily available to the scenario designer. I don't know. I do know that in history both sides tend to lie or bend the truth, and the truth might be a bit towards the middle, but the official history that most historians accept is that it was a near German defeat. Had the British attacked the Germans at night rather than giving up their position, mistakenly thinking that they were needed elsewhere, and not given up the high ground, the British would have exacted a near total defeat on the German paratroopers. And that's how this scenario plays out, actually. 9 times out of 10, if you play it down to the last squad and you're lucky, you'll win as the British player, despite the German numerical superiority. So with that said, let's go through the scenario and see the play. Here I am just picking the gliders and putting them in their designated flight spot. So I am picking certain positions that I feel will exploit the British defensive positions and bring the German player closest to their objectives. And now it might be the rally phase. I'm jumping the gun, but basically here I am rolling for weather. Basically, what's going on here is that I'm just putting the gliders on the board. They typically come in the movement phase, and then in the advancing fire phase, the passengers of the gliders come out and assume their own status. Until that time, they have a 7 morale, and they're considered an integral part of the glider. So here's where I'm checking now what unit is assigned to what item. I mixed them up and mixed up the chits and assigned a chit to every glider. Oh, and I forgot that before landing there is two rolls for the British player to simulate light AA fire. So in this game here, in this scenario, there is no British light AA. Light AA being a heavy machine gun or a AA gun with an infantry fire table equivalent in AA mode. And that's basically the only thing that can harm a glider. Small arms fire while in the air are ineffective against gliders in ASL. So I had rolled on a 4 table as per the scenario SSR and completely missed both gliders. And now we're trying to see if the gliders hit their intended landing zone or they overshoot or undershoot. And basically what you do is you roll a 2d6, and if you get 1 on the colored die, you're good, subject to certain modifiers. The modifiers are here. Let me show you the rule book if I can. Yeah, I know where the rule book is, right here. Okay, here, let me bring it up on the screen. So basically, you want a 1d6 subject to certain modifiers. Landing, here we go. Echo 8.22. So if you roll 1 in the colored die if you roll 1 in the colored die, you're good. But if you roll higher than a 1 on the colored die and less than or equal to 3, your glider falls short. And if you roll, let's do that again. If you roll less than or equal to 1 on the colored die, you're fine, subject to certain modifications. But if you roll higher than a 1 on the colored die, you've got to look at the white die to see if it's greater than 3, where it will overshoot, and if it's 3 or less, it will undershoot. And the modifiers are this. Color die DRM, you get -1 for each consecutive hex along the avenue of approach, which is the 5 hex trailing your intended landing hex. And by no means is this a tutorial. That is clear of any obstacle whose height level is greater than or equal to 1 level higher than the base level of the intended landing hex. There can be no such obstacle between the ILH and any of the non-obstacle hexes for which a DRM is claimed. Half-level obstacles and smoke do not apply. As per each full level above the base level, if the ILH of the highest obstacle, that is within the avenue of approach. So ideally, if you really think about it, if you put these rules into perspective, these high-level hexes, okay, will probably be ideal for these Germans to land in if you want to play shooting game, okay, because they're the highest level hexes. They don't have any obstacles higher than them in the previous hexes. The only problem that may arise is on your crash die roll. You might have to take into account that you're going over a wall on your intended landing hex. Here I have a couple of gliders that are landing in what appears to be a safe zone. But ultimately, if they overshoot and try to land in an orchard, there might be a crash roll modifiers. Anyway, let's go on and see what's going on here. One overshoot, couple landed safely, another overshoot, and these being overshot ain't that bad, because there's very little firepower, British firepower on board. And this bridge also is a hindrance. So, once the gliders land, they're also become a hindrance. So, it's not like they're landing in open ground. Here we're rolling a 1d6, and we're shooting. It is a defensive fire phase. We scored a couple of kills. Kills meaning we're firing on the star line of the infantry fire table. So we eliminated 2 gliders, but we still don't know what units are where. So this is the advancing fire phase where we discover which unit is where. So we can zoom in on the map a little bit. And as you can see, I'm revealing the chits, and the chits reveal which fire group or which squad is in which glider. Is this damaged? Nope. So quite a few units landed in their intended landing hex, and typically when you're playing this scenario, you will get at least 2 gliders that are blown to smithereens. And if the British player is exceptionally lucky, they'll blow up from the get-go at least 4. Where they're landing, not overshooting. And this is the crash roll, actually. There we are. Typically, the vehicle goes on top if you don't have a passenger. So everything but 2 units managed to land. Let's see if we can find the casualty bin. And here's what happened, what transpired. We have 2 squads and on 8-1 leader say goodbye-bye with an LMG. So lucky roll there. Here they're coming in the advancing fire phase. We have 2 leaders. 2 leaders here that have successfully landed. One was eliminated. The mortars are in a position to eliminate this unit here, really. And to boot, there's only 1 British unit there guarding this flank. So he has to be chased down and eliminated, and the odds are 3-1 against him. There's only 6 turns, though, player turns in this game, which also, again, makes it interesting. So, due to SSR again, or the scenario rules, the snipers are placed rather late, well into turn 1. They're not placed on board right away. So here we are now. It's British player turn number 1, and we're firing, and a bit of a turkey shoot. That doesn't end well for the British because the fire is ineffective, and it's pretty hard to eliminate units with an 8 morale unless you roll boxcars on your MC. Oy vey. There you go, half squatted. That was a lucky shot from the British unit from here across the board to there. And again, it wasn't the bullet that got him, it was boxcars on the morale. Now we're letting them have it, more or less. We're moving in such a way to anticipate the German advance on a second German turn. What the heck is going on here? Are we trying to get rid of the mortar? But here the mortar is getting the beat on us. And look at that. Look at those routes. So that was my first log, and my second log is just loaded, and we're going to go through the second log. I had to interrupt the game. At one point, I'll be honest with you, I forgot which side I was playing, and I forgot a prep fire. I quickly kind of corrected the sequence of events, but again, in the beginning of this game, the Germans seem to have been in a position to win, but as things transpired, it came down to the last nitty-gritty close combat or potential close combat. So heads up here. Now, how can you eliminate a 9-2 leader? Right? Look at that. I think he just eliminated vaporized. Yeah, he vaporized a whole squad. 9-2. Everything is wooden, and all the early scenarios that were designed around Greece depict, and even recently with Hasmo, I reached out to Charles Hammond and kind of told him, dude, there are no wooden buildings in Greece. They're all made of stone. They're all stone, and stone with mud or cement. Bullets do not penetrate Greek homes. Each village hacks, each village a home is a little fortress. Churches are fortresses too. They're made out of cement and stone. You know, no, you don't know. It's like, I guess that's why the Greeks were able to expel the Ottoman Empire in the beginning. You know, musket fires into where? Into a stone wall. It's ineffective. It comes out to the nitty-gritty sword fight. Anywho, I don't understand where these folks got the idea that in Greece you have wooden homes made out of wood. Maybe they were thinking of Japan, you know, silk walls. I have no idea. And then you kind of think about it, you know, with a +3 DRM, how are you going to get a kill? Let your opponent run out in the open and get a -2 DRM on him. I don't know. The first time I went to Greece, right, 1973, I go back to my parents' village, get in the house and feel the wall for an electrical switch to turn on the lights. And I remember my grandma to this day, what is the boy doing? Huh? What is it that ragazzo doing? She didn't say ragazzo, but anyway. And she thought I was a bit... And my father explained that in Canada we have light switches to turn on the lights. Little did I know how to use an oil lamp. Oh, there it is. And look, it tells you halt hit. This is the latest beta from Vassal. Look at that. That's beautiful. It tells you the halt hit right on the pop-up. Let's see if I roll. Oh, there's another turret hit. So the white is greater than the color dye. There you go. Got to get that down and packed in my head because I'm looking forward to some live gameplay. Yeah. I heard through the grapevine that Eric wants to play with me live. One of these days it's going to happen, Eric, and I'm going to bring over my lucky dice. And he wants to play on home turf. Here's the motor. Here are the motors I'd play, and this guy is CX because he went up a level. right? Used his full movement factors. Those things are what? 5 potash points? Huh. And this guy is broken. Koch got broken. But the other mortars in good order and popping away. They got the beat on him. The Germans are advancing. And at one point or another, I believe, here they are. They're slowly trying to gain a foothold on this position and eliminate both units on this flank, and then we're going to have to rush and get these guys over and done with. But what we're looking here, after this fellow eliminated a whole British squad, is just 2 units, and one of them is broken. And I'm not too sure why I didn't pop this guy out of the foxhole and go around and try to eliminate this guy. Because as a broken unit, he cannot strip concealment. Ooh, 2 German units that are kaboom. But we have 1 unit still in good order. When you're playing the scenario, the key thing to remember is you got to play it down to the last man. Even if all your units ultimately are eliminated and wiped off the board, there is a great element of luck here. And this fellow here is almost untouchable. He is going to fire left, right, and center until everything in his line of sight is eliminated. I'm not too sure if 4.68s were better suitable to reflect paratroopers. I think 8.38s may have been, in this scenario, may have been more in order. There we are now. The mortars are peppering away at the British entrenched position up on the heights. And eventually they break the leader. I called him Freiburg, after the historical Commonwealth leader on Crete. Freiburg survived the war. Not in this game. There you are again, routing. Oh, I did move them to grab the position. Upper level encircled. Where is he going to route? He couldn't route anywhere. Practically nowhere. So which turn is it? Let's see. Whoa. We're on German turn 3. This fellow successfully low crawled to there. And here we are with, hey, Freiburg popped back up. But the mortars again, now none of the mortars are CX, and we're peppering away. Broke him again. Broke him again. Taking morale checks. Oh, this guy kind of became a fanatic. He had a battle. I forget how he got heat of battle. Been leader creation for all I know now. Gotta pay close attention between heat of battle and leader creation. The two aren't snakes, but they're different. They're trying to eliminate this guy. Where did he come from? Oh, all the way down there, huh? I'm gonna check where he came from. Now, Vassal isn't perfect, but it kind of reduces. You can leave a game and come back to it with a relative amount of confidence that all the units were left in the right hexes. I'm playing with a fellow that still cannot stare at a TV screen for too long, so they use cardboard and paper. And again, like George Everett said on my video, you can't get rid of the cat because of a board game. We all love cats. Cats are excellent pets, so are dogs. And hey, maybe you could buy a nice acrylic case and put it on top with a weight. You know, buy an acrylic case. You know, like you got these cake savers. So that's something to think of. Magnetized counters would be of use as well. Oh, Braun is on the loose. And here we go. We're firing at him, firing back. There goes some bypass movement. And at this stage of the game, we eliminated this position due to the mortars. We fired first the mortars, then we fired these guys, then we moved these guys. Without movement, you're not going to get a victory here. So here we are, we're advancing now. Given the fact that we have, well, we don't have a fog of war, and we know that there are very few units left on the map board, and away we go. So that's probably the type of realism that Mark was referring to, knowing full well that the OB, with the losses that your opponent incurred, you can now let the dogs of war loose and try to advance on your opponent and get rid of them. As you'll see, things didn't evolve quite the way that you would anticipate. Because at the end of the day, Murphy's Law always prevails in this game. There we are, exchanging some fire. We have a fanatic unit coming after a lonely squad. I'm quite well versed now with upper level encirclement, but ordinary encirclement is a bit of a... Well, look at here. We got a nice close combat going on. A leader with a 4.58 and against a 4.68 with a 9-2 leader. So the German player is favored to win this close combat because of the 9-2 leader. He is defending with a full squad, so he can exert the -2 DRM in the close combat die roll and get that squad eliminated. We're now at still German player turn 4. 2 more turns to go, so we got to move buggy out and move our butts. Now here, you'll see that I dismantled my mortar and I'm going to abandon them, I think. Even with 3 portage points, I ain't going to do it. Close combat here, we locked in melee here. I think we've ultimately may have delayed the German player by 1 turn. Yep, nothing transpired out of the melee. Even with a -2 modifier for the CC rule, a German player got locked. Now I kind of advanced into this position here and took wall advantage because I fear that these units will try and cross the bridge and take me out. And also I'm in the victory zone, so he has to be expelled, he has to be eliminated, or remain in close combat because the victory objective is no British unit, infantry unit, that includes a single man counter and a 4.58 are left here in good order. And that's how my last game ended with Mark. It's the remaining British half squad was in close combat. Left in close combat, so he achieved his victory. Albeit a barbaric one, but still a victory. Okay. Ooh, snake eyes. Somebody got eliminated there. It was the wrong player. Well, not the wrong player. Why would I say the German player was the wrong player? Either player, right in mind. Anywho, the German fanatic unit got eliminated in close combat. And created an 8-hole leader. And created an 8-hole leader. Check that out. Yeah, the British unit rolled a snake eyes in the rather short British turn. Rolled snake eyes in that close combat. Outright eliminated the fanatic German unit. Created an 8-hole leader. And it's ambush withdraw, so technically, he could have moved that into S6. Not that it would have made a difference. And here, we're still stuck in melee because the only thing that the German player got was a casualty reduction on the squad. So the German player still has a heck of a lot of work to do in order to win. I'm playing both sides. And it's player turn number 5. Morale checks. This guy's DM and encircled. The German player just managed to break another 8-hole leader. The leaders on the northern flank here, the British leaders, didn't fare too well, and no German leader succeeded in going there to begin with. They are still moving, second to last turn, and we're rolling. We first fired. This guy's there. Which turn is it? Still player turn number 5. Okay. Defensive fire. Defensive fire again. Now advancing fire. No, defensive fire. Okay. Defensive fire. Being very ineffective. Now it's advancing fire. Now it's actually turn 6. No, it's not. It's the Brit. Okay. Still turn 5. So perhaps we're advancing? Oh yeah, we're advancing. And we advanced to the close combat there. And finally eliminated everybody there. Hoo-ha! These guys advanced as well. But they're pretty much out of it. Too far to make a difference because here it is. It's coming to the end. Melee there, close combat. We finally eliminated the British player. So this guy's free. British turn, I believe. Let's see. That's the weather roll, a 7, no effect. And we got a prep fire. And we rolled a pretty good roll. We have wild advantage, he doesn't, so that was 12 flat. We rolled a pretty good number. And there we got this fellow broken and the other fellow broken. Thicky Yellard as well, yep. That ain't good. I believe we had got rate. And that's all she wrote. We're firing back, route, the route back to there. And we're back to the last turn, German rally. Okay, Koch tried to press the issue there, and perhaps he should have stayed back. Now it's rally. Let's see who can rally, who can't. He finally just got rid of the DM. And nobody rallied there? Wow. Now we're going CX and trying to press the issue. we managed to get a small morale check because it was a 12 down 2 shot. This guy is a 8-0 leader. Probably had gotten leader creation. There we go. Another leader loss. Another leader loss. ICX. Rolls an 8. So that broke everybody and left 6 residual. Here comes Braun. And that was a 6 down 2 shot. That's where everything ended. Had he gone, this fellow here gone CX, would it have changed things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, just too far from the actual location. So I didn't bother eliminating this fellow here, but it was a pretty deadly roll. Rolled a 3 on my last shot against the Germans advancing. What can you do, folks? It's such is life. So I hope you enjoyed this replay, and if you want to see more of these replays, let me know. It's a 37-minute video, and you can certainly watch my videos at double time, and they still make sense. And I think 37 minutes is a good length of time for a video. Easy to upload, easy to follow, and not much time in terms of investment on your end, and it's pretty good. Now, I highly recommend this. I highly recommend this scenario. It might be a bit of a lot for newbies to handle, but for the intermediate level player, it's a very enjoyable scenario to play. It's well balanced, in my opinion. I didn't look at the raw data, or if I did, I completely forgot about it, so let it be. I'm planning to play this scenario a couple more times with the right players. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and do like and subscribe. Tell your friends about this channel. I'm really happy with the growth rate of this channel at around 924 subscribers. It's pretty good. I know I won't break the internet, and I hope I won't, because that's not the type of popularity I'd like to have. And be well, roll low, and stay healthy, guys, and lucky. Take care.